have awaited thee. Thou hast rescued Princess Dusk and rid us of that terrible primeval human, even halting the spread of the abyss.
Oh, neat.
I salute the grandeur of thine enterprise. Please allow me to express my gratitude. I thank thee, as do we all.
Cool. So that's why...
May the flames guide thee.
That is why Darkroot Garden is not totally lost to the abyss like New Londo could have been. It's because we actually stopped the source of it, Manus. Of course, the abyss still exists. You know, it still encroaches upon New Londo in the future. And humanity persists as well, because humans continue to proliferate the world. Now then, there is still something left to do here. We've got... you remember that tower? Oh man, I picked the worst possible route here. Oh no. Oh, the real Dark Souls starts here. Harder than Manus, I'm telling you. Okay, so pretending that didn't happen. I'm just gonna ignore those souls. I don't care. Actually, no, I know what we can do. Let's go to the Oolacile Township. Still a little bit left to do. A couple NPCs we can interact with, one of which I even know how to interact with. So we can return to where we fought Artorias, and we'll meet a certain character.
You, is that not the soul of the man who fell on this spot? He was a dear friend. I wish to pay proper respect with that soul. Would you be willing to part with it?
So, if you give up the soul of Artorias, you can't craft weapons with it, but you do get weapons in return.
Thank you. You are very kind. Please take this. I no longer need it.
You get a pair of weapons, Dark Silver Tracer and Gold Tracer, which I believe are considered the best dex weapons in the game.
May the Lord guide thee. May the Lord guide thee.
And I'm wondering, does this say explicitly who it is?
May the Lord...
So this is Kieran. This was one of Artorias' fellow knights. As I believe, maybe one of our rings talks about? Oh man, I did that with the Rusted Iron Ring rather than the Wolf's Ring. But let's see. This one belonged to Artorias. This one belonged to Kieran. And Kieran's dagger laid waste to Lord Gwyn's enemies, which is why we suspect that this is Kieran, because she gives you those tracers. What is with her? Oh, I thought that was her eye. That was creepy. Okay. Yeah, if you don't give her the soul, I think she'll fight you. I think. Alright. So, we still want to... Oh, other way. We still want to figure out what's up with that locked door. And I don't think we picked up a key. And I don't know where the key is. But I want to figure it out. But there's one thing that we need to do anyway before visiting there. So let's do that. You may remember that there was a path. Where is it? Is it down there? Yeah. Yeah, there we go. There's the path. There's a path down into that riverbed. And if we follow it down, you'll remember we heard some dogs. There There's some the abyss hanging out there. There's a dog. What's up, dog? They're basically like the dogs we fought in Lower Undead Burg. Remember Lower Undead Burg? So long ago. Need heal. Imminent danger zone. I live for danger. Ooh, hey there. It's that dragon. So, welcome to Darkroot Basin. Except it's got less water, actually, than it has in the future. So I was completely mixed up earlier on, and I apologize for that. So, let's grab some items here. Nothing to be worried about. What could possibly go wrong? Fire could happen. Oh, now I am the dead. So that, I believe, I think it may... I'm not sure if it's a necessary death or not. Because in order to actually do damage to that dragon, we need to do something to it. And in order to do that something to it, we need to unlock that door. And I don't remember how to unlock that door, and I'm about to Google it. Alright, so hopefully I have edited out my previous failed attempt at getting this key. It's one of those situations where I'm getting impatient and hasty and not wanting to deal with all these frickin' bobblehead dudes. And that is causing me trouble. So I'm activating that and sending it back up in case I die yet again. Alright, so to deal with that dragon, we need to get someone to help us deal with it. And to get that someone, we need a key to open that tower that we saw. So, we're going to find the key. Using help from our trusty Dark Souls wiki. Now, I know those guys are following me, but I'm going to wait till I have flat ground here. Oh, really? These sorceresses are quickly becoming my least favorite enemy in the entire game. Because they just love sniping. Sniper, no sniping. Alright, you're dealt with. Yeah, try rolling. So we want to roll onto that platform there. And also, I just want to snipe the hell out of this guy. But he's having none of it. There we go. You gonna come bother me, Red? Is there even a way? I'm trying to figure out if there's a way to get here other than rolling. Looks like there's a ladder. So. But anyway, the key we seek is in this mimic. Yeah, mimics haven't gotten any harder, it seems like. And that gives us the crest key. Let's see what it says. The grooves of the crest are enchanted, the door sealed with a powerful spell. That's really vague. That doesn't tell me much at all. Alright, I'm out of curiosity, gonna see where this ladder leads. Oh, okay. So it's not actually a way we could have gotten up, but it is a nice little bit of continuity on, or explanation of how the heck that sorceress got there. Alright, well, that's all I really wanted to know. So let's boneward home. Alright, so let's climb on up here. And finally figure out what that sound is. Hey! It's another giant blacksmith. Are you a blacksmith? It's a giant, for sure.
Have we? Thou must be the one who freed Artorias. An old friend he was. Thanks to thee, he left this world with honor intact. And here I am, retired and blind. Of little help to thee, I'm afraid.
So, okay, he's not a blacksmith, but he does sell the last 2 carvings. I was wondering where those were. He sells dung. I suppose the fact that he's been locked here has given him an ample supply. And he sells great arrows, used by Hawkeye Goff, one of Lord Gwyn's 4 knights, for dragon slaying. Goff personally crafts each stone tip and wraps the shaft tightly with tree bark. These things are expensive, and they require a great bow, but they are powerful.
Dragons shall never be forgotten. We knights fought valiantly, but for every one of them, we lost 80 of our own. Exhilaration, pride, hatred, rage. The dragons teased out our dearest emotions. Thou will understand one day. At thy twilight, old thoughts return in great waves of nostalgia. Me, there's very little to be said. What good is a dog with no hairs to hunt? But I'm lucky to be alive, I suppose.
So yeah, he's thinking about the good old days of dragon slaying with his buddies. And he's seen his buddies kind of fall one by one. And he feels like he can't do anything, especially because he's blind.
Me? There's book, but I'm...
No.
Farewell, human. Lead thy life as thou seest fit.
So I'm trying to activate his...
But Mara,
There we go.
is the black dragon posing the duress?
Yes, it is. So, I think maybe if you're an absolute lunatic, maybe you can kill it with arrows, but unless you do something with Goff here, the dragon will never land. And that's a problem when you're trying to fight it. So let's see if Goff can help.
Yes, I thought as much. He's called Kalameet. Ferocious dragon indeed. Even mighty Anna Londo dared not provoke his ire. I see little good coming from this, but thy intent is to persevere to the bitter end.
Hex, yeah.
Good, good. What is bravery without a dash of recklessness? I've taken a liking to thee, and I owe thee much for thy service to Artorias. Now, watch, and see how Goff hunts dragons.
Alright, I'd like to remind you for this cutscene that Goff is blind. Just keep that in mind. Game gives you a nice reminder that he has to feel around for his bow. What a fucking badass. Did you freaking see that? He sniped a flying dragon out of the sky, and he is blind.
Your shot was never loosed. That bat will be grounded for a good spell. The rest is in thine hands. I await good tidings. Dragon slaying. Knighthood's highest calling.
God, he's so cool. I want to be as cool as Goff when I grow up. Although, interesting note, I think one of our item descriptions said that he was, like, imprisoned or banished or something into that tower. I gotta wonder why. I could have understood if it was like a self-imposed separation. But, I don't know. Anyway, now that Goff has just totally frickin' sniped the dragon out of the sky, we can go back into the Royalwood Basin, or however we want to call it, and have ourselves one last boss fight for this DLC. And I'm hoping I do it on the first try, because I just realized that my home bonfire is not the one in the township, and that's going to be a pain in the butt to make the run for. Oh, and now you can see that there's a fog door, because it's a boss now. Come on, don't be a butt, bud. Okay. So I've heard other people say that Kalameet is actually the hardest boss in the game. He might be if you're trying to cut off his tail, but I personally, in my experience, found Manus a lot harder. That said, Kalameet does have fire attacks, whereas Manus relied more on physical stuff, so it's possible that my shield will not be as useful in this fight. Where are you, Kalameet? There you are. Ooh, look at that. Knocked me away. Oop. So that's a struggle. One of his best places to hit him is his head and neck, but his lock-on is more his torso, which helps for hitting his legs, but not so much for his head. Oh, that's an AoE, isn't it? Oh, no, it's not. Okay. So I'm going to see if I can do well without lock-on here. I'm doing alright. Alright, this isn't too bad so far. Yeah, as long as he stays on the ground, I'm doing alright. What is that? I don't know what that move is, and I'm concerned. And there's this AoE that I'm just terrible at. So you can see he has two breathe fire out in front of him moves. One moves back and forth, the other is just straight. And then he has that spray, it looks like. So three, I guess. Come on. And it looks like the best way to go about... Oh, man. Oh, and he has a tail attack. Oh, man, he's busting out new moves. Yeah, so that spray in front there, dodging is definitely the way to go, it seems like. For this one, I'm just going to use my shield. Might be dodgeable, but heck if I know. And it looks like healing right near his feet, not actually a great idea. And you really, yeah, it looks like you want to dodge forward more than horizontal when it comes to his spray attack. Because it sprays, it has a lot of horizontal reach and will stay in the horizontal vicinity a lot more. I guess if you do a diagonal through it, that might be the best way to go. So this is coming down to the wire a little bit. Still got 8 Estus, but it's already a closer fight than Manus was, it seems like. Yeah, there we go. Dodge forward through it, not to the side. What is this move? It's not causing me any damage. Oh. Oh, that could have been bad if I hadn't turned around at the last second there. So, there we go. If I hadn't kindled up to 20 Estus, that would have been a very difficult fight, but as it stands, not too bad. So Kalameet, he gives you the Calamity Ring, which is just the stupidest freaking ring I've ever seen in my life. Let's look at this. A ring enchanted by the orange eye of Kalameet, the bringer of calamity. Get it? Get it? Because Kalameet, calamity. Get it? Doubles damage received by its wearer. A useless ring, befitting of no finger, best left unknown or at least well hidden. So it's there if you want an extra challenge, but because this is the DLC, you've already, fought nearly everything. So it's really not going to be useful. And then if you cut off his tail, I'm pulling up the description of that now, he'll give you the Obsidian Greatsword. This great axe, even though it's called a great sword, one of the rare dragon weapons, is formed by the tail of the one-eyed black dragon Kalameet, the last of the ancient dragons. Its mystical power of its obsidian blade will be released when held with both hands, so it has another shockwave attack. But so Kalameet is, as kind of Goff alluded to, the very last of the dragons that was around during the War on the Dragons at the end of the Age of Ancients. All the other dragons we've encountered are descendants or mutants or something. Which I guess implies that the stone dragon is a descendant of Kalameet? Anyway, we just killed it. And remember that Goff made such a big build-up that we lost 3 score for every 1 dragon. And even then they were like, oh no, we're not going to mess with Kalameet. And then we just killed Kalameet 2-on-1. Just, Goff obviously helped. And that takes care of everything in the DLC, actually. Everything that I care about, anyway. There may be, I don't know, maybe one more dark spell. There was that item in the Abyss that I could never figure out how to get. But that takes care of that. And you know what? I'm feeling frisky today. Why don't we beat the game?